Greetings to you. This is Kwafi Nino. I thank you for clicking here. You make the difference in who I am as a content creator. If you'd like to, please like, share, and subscribe. Gamble till you win, gamble till you win. Cash it all in, cash it all in. Gamble till you win, gamble till you win. Gamble to the end, gamble to the end. And the covering of the story of Takeoff. This is a sad but unfortunate death. The life of a rap star, 1/3 of the trio of Migos. Takeoff, aka Kirsnick Kahari Ball, who was the special ingredient for the rap trio Migos with his Uncle Quavo and cousin Offset from the greater North Atlanta area of Gwinnett County, Lawrenceville, Georgia, was murdered November 1st, 2022 in Houston, Texas. The 28-year-old rapper died a tragic death, a gunshot to the head, on November 1st, 2022 in a faulty, senseless gunfire that also threatened the life of those who were wounded but able to recover. This was confirmed and reported by the Houston Police Department Chief of Police Troy Fenner.
Good afternoon, everyone. Chief Fenner. Let me speak to the human element first before we do anything. I spoke to this young man's mother just an hour ago. Flew in here from out of town. I want everybody to understand the pain, the suffering of a mother. Let me speak to this just right. We understand and we know it. This morning at about approximately 2:34 a.m., officers received a call of a shooting in progress. Officers arrived there shortly thereafter. The location is in the downtown location, the billiards bowling alley located at 1201 San Jacinto Street here in the downtown area. Once officers arrived, they came upon a male who was deceased. That male has been identified as Kirsnick Ball, better known as Takeoff. He's a member of the Migos rap group out of Atlanta. And I want to pause again because sometimes the hip-hop community gets a bad name. And I know, and evident from this city and people who I have a personal relationship, a lot of great people in our hip-hop community, and I respect them. But back to Takeoff. I got many calls from Houston and outside of Houston, and everyone spoke of what a great young man this is, how peaceful he is, what a great artist. And I'm calling up on everybody, our hip-hop artists in Houston and around the nation. We got to police ourselves. It is so many talented individuals, men and women, in that community who, again, I love and I respect. And we all need to stand together and make sure nobody tears down that industry. And I'm calling to start here in Houston, here and possibly as early as next week. I want to meet with some of our artists and see how we can taper things down.
The question still lingers in my mind. How could this have happened with such great people surrounding Migos, such as Coach K. Lee and Pierre Thomas, who are the co-founders of Quality Control Music, who also manages Lil Baby, City Girls, Migos, and many others. According to XXL magazine, in the 35 years between Scott LaRock's shooting death in the Bronx in 1987 and Takeoff's murder in 2022, one of the most recent cases, we've documented 91 rappers who have been killed, about 2 per year and sometimes more. We agree here at Narratives and Dialogues channel, but because our goal is to bring to you news from reliable sources, from people up close and personal off social media, we advocate for artists to make sure that physical protection bodyguards are in their contracts when signing to a label or management company. Could this have been a setup? Well, we'll never know that, simply because the case is still too fresh. One thing about me, I try my best not to cover a story that is not fully investigated with the facts. I'm just not the guy that's gonna jump on the bandwagon just because the topic is popular and just go on a rant. I'm not gonna do that. I usually don't cover what's too popular or the celebrity news, but this was one of those stories that really touched me. So I didn't jump on the bandwagon to give my thoughts on things I did not know about. But what I did know was that something was not right. I ended up calling up some reliable sources from the same circles that I used to run in the music business in Atlanta, Georgia, and in Gwinnett County and Lawrenceville, who have run in the same circle as the Migos and who has been in the music studio and recording with Migos.
Yeah, my opinion on the Migos and Takeoff, I feel like Jay Prince invited them out to a party in Houston and invited some other people in Houston, and whoever Takeoff was gambling with that also got invited to the party or whatever. They caused issues and caused problems, and he died. They could have gambled at a casino, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that could have been done. Jay Prince, I feel like he wasn't expecting nobody to argue or have issues at his private party. He probably wasn't even expecting that to happen. So personalities got out of hand and things got handled. So Takeoff wasn't even part of the argument. He was an innocent bystander from what I heard and from what I seen. So I don't even think that bullet was for him. I think it was for Quavo or somebody else, but he was just standing there, so he got hit and two other people got hit. That's just pretty much it. These people rich. I feel like they should be mindful where they be at, where they say somebody that's less rich might feel some type of way. They say something wrong, they might be itching for a body. You never know. The world crazy. But R.I.P. Takeoff.
This is a case where a superstar got too comfortable, not understanding that they're too accessible to the public. You're not exempt from any of the problems concerning life's problems: jealousy, greed, envy. And when you become a star at that level, someone has to counsel you to understand that you're no longer normal. Now, I understand that a lot of brothers out there always go by the street code of keeping it real, staying loyal to the streets, staying loyal to your homies. But those same homies are the ones that will put you in your grave, or at least will cause you to get caught up in the crossfire. Growing up in Atlanta myself, I understood the mentality of being loyal, not forgetting where you came from. But does you making it in life and making the choice to do better with your life mean that you're forgetting where you came from? I think Migos, the group as a whole, has been really trying their best to prove to Atlanta that they're just not dudes from Gwinnett County.
Ain't nobody ever just stood up for the north side. And even when you hear songs, they always shout out east side, west side, south side. We just put pride into where we from, and then you come over here, you don't see what's going on.
Jealousy, envy, and hate is all around us every day of our lives, but it's up to you as a conscious human being who's fully aware of everything revolving like the sun in a cycle of 360 degrees to be able to understand that people will love you or hate you or become an obsessed fan. Eminem came out with the song Stand, which explains that. A real situation that slips up on you when you least expect.
I greet all of you with the greeting words of peace. We say it in the Arabic language, Assalamu alaikum. It is a great honor for me and for us to be here to honor a life that will become more famous in death than in life, and the work that his life will produce will go down in history as something that changed the world. What do I mean by that? He lived the gang life, but he didn't stay there. He lived the life of the hood, but he rose above the pull of gravity. I saw that picture of my brother Ermias with wings, and I saw him soaring above the hood. Some saw him and said, where he going? Is he ever going to come back? And sometimes when you can fly above the circumstances of your life, it produces envy and enmity and jealousy among those who have not yet learned how to fly. But Ermias was more than a hip-hop artist. He was a voice. He was a brilliant mind, and the Spirit of God was in his life. At this homegoing for him, his homegoing will be a life call for us to get up from where we are and be a new man and a new woman and take the mark of the beast out of our hands and out of our head and take on knowledge that we may fly like he flew, above the condition of the hood and above the condition of the world.
Amaretta the Great, she speaks about not being from Atlanta, something that's long overdue because people who are originally from Atlanta don't call things out when people come to their cities and not speak up about what is true and what is not true, what is facts and what is not facts. But in this case, it's not about where you're from, it's your talent. This young lady is very talented, and I give her, applause on this. And while I don't want to jump to conclusions, it seems that she's speaking on the Migos, where they have stated that they were from Atlanta, as I stated, covering Takeoff's death.
I ain't going back and forth cause I said what I said. I'm clearing the air cause I feel it's my place. I gotta jump on the coat folk head. Look, if you not from this side and you don't know the facts, just chill and repeat after me. Cali Park, it's not Atlanta. Lithonia, it's not Atlanta. Clayco, it's not Atlanta. Decatur, it's not Atlanta. Gwinnett, it's not Atlanta.
Since the beginning of hip-hop, it seems that everyone has been trying to rep their neighborhood or rep where they're from. There are many today who still don't specifically rep where they're from. And there's a reason for that, because either they had the talent, but because they lived in the country or they lived in a little town, they would dismiss the town and not represent the town and would say that they're from the next biggest city. It's not about the town, it's your talent that makes you who you are. Thing is, keep your talent for where you trend in and not fit in. I think Kanye West kind of made that a good point, that you don't have to be a gangster or create that kind of life to become a star or to become very popular. And even before Amaretta the Great has spoke on this, you had a rapper by the name of Art Bar V, who is a Love and Hip Hop VH1 star. She often repped Atlanta, and I mean, she repped it hard. So I think that when you are a person who work hard for the title and someone else comes along and gains stardom, you'll be salty as well. But again, this is not about repping your hood or where you're from. Like I said, your talent. And Migos have proven that. I think keeping it real and staying loyal to your hood hasn't gotten us anywhere as African American or Foundation American people who are African American, who are black. And just having to prove to yourself or prove to someone else that you are worthy seems to be a big deal. You look at how you're going to be received other than looking at what talent I have and what my talent is worth. People get caught up even on social media in how are they going to see me, what they think of me, do they hear me? And it's an attention getter to be validated. I think that by these guys coming from good upbringings, coming from some of the best neighborhoods, very good students in school, and was destined to be some of the best athletes, I think they got caught up in that life where they ended up in places where they just were at the wrong place at the wrong time. Very smart businessmen have a long resume through inheritance of talent. But in Takeoff's case, this was not his situation. I think that Takeoff, as the quietest person in the group and the laid back in the group, surrounded by family and people who really loved him, thought that he would be protected always. Stars of this caliber never even gave it thought to, have 24-hour security. That is a boring life, but at the same time, it saves your life. You get into the stardom thing, you got to understand that you're not exempt from any problems of the world. You're definitely touchable. You're easily accessible. You're accessible even to trolls on the internet. You're accessible to obsessed fans who get close to the stage. This has even happened to Malcolm X. I even think that it happened to Dr. King. It seems like the good die young. And it also seems that the good always is accessible to people they try to help. Or people they, just relate to. For those who really knew Takeoff, has stated that he's always been the man behind the scenes, not looking for the shine, but at the same time, represented the group very well, did what he had to do to show up as a group. Who better to do this with other than your family? And I think that he was a stand-up guy for that. Now at the same time, I say, I don't think that this man should have been put in harm's way. There's always that innocent friend or family member that's with us that's always catching the bad deal of it all behind some foolishness, simply because of being present. And again, at the wrong place, at the wrong time, at the wrong time, at the wrong time, at the wrong time.
Yeah, we sliding through the town, man. We sliding through the town. Yeah, we on the 5th. Yeah, the 5th ward.
The choices that were made that night when Takeoff lost his life, we will never know. We don't even know if those were the choices of his own. We don't know if he was led into a setup. But one thing we know for sure, that the truth will prevail. Stay tuned.
Channel 2 has confirmed details of services for rapper Takeoff. The service for the former member of the Migos is scheduled for this Friday at 1 at State Farm Arena in Atlanta. Houston police are still searching for the gunman who shot Takeoff. It happened 1 week ago after a private party in Texas.
It must be the fatty pocket blue cheese on it. Get your wrist twisted like a and then get your wrist twisted like a and then get your wrist twisted like a stir fry.
Life is a gamble, and it may be even a game that we play every day. Gamble till you win, gamble to the end, cash it all in. But know that even statues grin. Trust no one. Gamble till you win, gamble till you win, cash it all in, cash it all in. Gamble till you win, gamble till you win, gamble to the end, gamble to the end.
New developments in the shooting death of hip-hop star Takeoff of the Atlanta rap group Migos. Houston police announcing they've arrested 33-year-old Patrick Clark and charged him with murder.
Made a promise that we would get the individuals or the individual that's responsible for the murder of Takeoff in custody.
The break comes just days after Houston police arrested 22-year-old Cameron Joshua on gun charges.